that follow a lot of this information, and especially if they're outspoken, they're definitely on lists, and things like that can occur.
When I first tried to open a bank account for my website as a company, I was told I had to create an LLC in order to, for tax purposes.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
The bank, there was people that did a review before they'd give me the bank account. And this is just a simple bank account, nothing special. And the lady thought she was all smart and types in David Wilcock on Google, and the first thing that comes up below my name is David Wilcock fraud on Google. Now, oh, well, he must be a fraud. And then I went back to them and I said, do you realize that I've written 2 New York Times best-selling books and I'm on the #1 rated show on History Channel? Oh, and I said, look, tell her that everybody in my field, this is what happens. There's a lot of people out there that don't like controversial information. I just left it at that. So this stuff is real. People need to be aware. And were you just brought in for a week as a consultant for this job, or was this something you had for a longer period of time?
You're usually brought in to do virtualization. I was brought in to set up the virtual environment, to help the people with their workstations get set up, learning how to navigate their new virtual environment that was set up, that me and some other people set up. And then after that, we moved on.
So you have a matrix of 6 screens, probably 3 on top, 3 on the bottom?
Right.
And then with the VMware, each screen is a virtual machine in some different part of the world?
Right.
So the IP address looks like they live in a different area?
Right.
And then they're working all these screens at the same time to have arguments with each other?
At times, yes. They'll sit there and argue with their self, with these alternate ego personalities. Or they'll just be into multiple forums at the same time, causing problems, waiting for other people to respond, go to this one, say a few things, kick the hornet's nest over here, go back to the other forum, hit refresh, see what happened, that kind of thing.
This is probably going to upset and annoy some people, make them pissed off. What can be done about this? Is maybe spreading the awareness and you coming forward with this, validating what the Snowden documents said on The Intercept, Glenn Greenwald's website? Is that part of the process? And also, I guess, what's the best way to handle this if you think somebody's doing this online? Should you argue with them? Should you try to expose them?
Just being aware that that is occurring is the first step. Second step, and I've been guilty of it myself, it's hard not to sometimes, do not engage them, ignore them, pretend you didn't even see what they said. That drives them crazy. But just don't get into a circular debate. If you talk to a person and it looks like it's going into a circular debate, they're stuck, they're going to just re-argue a moot point, then just move on.
What did they see that it is in the human psyche that makes us, we could get 100 positive emails, but we'll go for the one that's negative and focus in on that? Or we'll see 100 positive discussions on a forum and one person's a hater and we got to attack that person. What is the vulnerability in us, and how can we heal that vulnerability so that we're not wanting to engage in these conflicts?
It is a part of human nature that we always focus on the negative. But also it goes back to the personality profiles and them knowing, your weak spot. Like if they found that you don't like, if you're uncomfortable with the way your chin looks, they'll focus on your chin, kind of a thing.
Do you think it's advisable for people to spend more time cultivating real friendships in the real world?
Yes.
Because I've never had somebody talk to me in person in all the years I've done this, over 20 years. In all the years I've been doing this, I've never had somebody speak to me in person with anywhere near the degree of disrespect that if I read all the comments and emails that are out there per day, I could probably find 10 or 20 that are like that.
No one is the way they are in person on when they're on the internet. Even if they say, I'm always this gruff, I don't care, or some of the people, yeah, I guess that's true, but for the most part, even the nicest old lady, when they have the anonymity of the internet and the power to say whatever they want, they're going to bang out some stuff here and there, you know. So, and you don't, you know, the power of the anonymity of being on the internet and being able to make comments that you wouldn't do face to face normally. It's not the best way to meet people. I've known a lot of people that have met their soulmates on dating sites, so I'm not going to knock that. But internet forums are heavily, heavily, heavily compromised by both troubled people and paid government trolls. So I don't even go to them anymore. They're extremely compromised.
If somebody does want to try to spread the truth and they feel like some people are not listening to the truth, what are some positive things people can do to help spread this message? Should they be fighting somebody if that person just doesn't get it? Should they try a little bit and then back off? Or what are some positive ways to try to combat this influence and get the truth out?
Well, speak to those who are willing to listen. You're not going to be able to convince someone. So move to those who seem interested and want to know more. Don't waste your time on the person that's going to just want to argue with you. It's a waste of time.
Well, I think that's a good point for us to end this episode on. This is Cosmic Disclosure. I'm your host, David Wilcock. We'll see you next time, and I thank you for watching.